Even as kids, we all had a grasp on how to make sure that our body is functioning well. Even in the simplest of ways, we are taught that if our urine is of a darker colour, that means we are probably lacking in fluids, and that if we eat more fibre-filled vegetables, we will have an easier time going to the toilet. Our urine and stool can reveal so much about our bodily functions and even disclose evidence of diseases and sicknesses, even the ones without significant signs or symptoms. Yet, we are not always able to access readily available urine and stool tests to determine what is happening to our bodies, and unfortunately for some, it is even too late to do so. The core problem being that one of the biggest burdens on healthcare systems worldwide is the increasing number of deaths from sicknesses that could have been prevented if there was earlier diagnosis. Some symptoms include increasing healthcare costs and extra government expenditure and a less productive workforce, financial and psychological stress on families affected, and an overcrowding of hospitals as patients are unable to diagnose the problems themselves. Some of the causes include the lack of awareness of the importance of getting checkups, the lack of adequate attention, and also the lack of time for a checkup or availability of tests. The width of this problem is huge. About 20 million Americans and 230,000 New Zealanders have clinical evidence of kidney-related problems that could have been prevented with earlier diagnosis. About 1 in 10 people have some form of preventable organ damage, and every year millions die prematurely of complications. The depth is quite worrying. Diseases such as the chronic kidney disease globally resulted in 735,000 deaths in 2010, and developed nations spent more than 2 to 3% of their annual healthcare budget to provide treatment for conditions that could have been prevented. Which is why we have come up with an information system that allows everyone to be able to check up on their health status on a daily basis and keep up to date on what their body is lacking and how well each organ is functioning. The basis of this idea is a compartment that is installed into the average toilet bowl which takes samples daily from urine and stool. These samples are then processed through an entire database of information which breaks the samples into compartments such as the clarity, pH levels, glucose, and protein. With this information, the system is able to determine many aspects of daily health. For instance, what you eat and drink, how much you exercise, and how well your kidneys work can affect what is in your urine. The system can even be used to diagnose a urinary tract or kidney infection, screen for the progression of diabetes and high blood pressure, and it can also detect diseases from the blood, bladder, and stones. In a stool test, similar information can be disclosed and help identify diseases in the digestive tract, liver, and pancreas. With all this information, one by one, everyone in the world can start to take notice of how their body is functioning every day and be able to pick up on any problems early in the process. This will heavily reduce the burden on healthcare departments and also the amount of deaths that are caused simply because of late diagnosis.
Created using Powtoon.